Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches. Well, today I'm back to wearing two watches, one on each wrist. And that's purely for this video, of course, because today I am doing a side-by-side comparison of these two watches. And I think this is going to be one of the most interesting side-by-side comparisons that I've done. Because today I'm featuring my Seiko Samurai Save the Ocean Great White Shark Edition, my absolute favourite Seiko watch, on the strap code bracelet. And I'm deliberately doing it on the strap code bracelet because it would be quite unfair on the Seiko to compare it against my Helm Kiriburi. And this Helm is such a good watch on such a great bracelet that it would be sort of unfair on this Seiko to put it on the original one because the bracelet on this one is so fantastic. So that's the way I am going to be doing this review. I'm really excited because both of them are fantastic ISO rated certified dive watches. I love both of them so much. They both sort of do the same thing in my collection, but they are just so fantastic that I think it'd be really interesting to put these watches side by side. And of course, that's what I'm doing today. All right, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click on that subscribe button. It makes such a big difference to me and the channel. It really, really does. And all it takes for you guys is just to click on that little button. But let's jump into the side-by-side comparison video now by flipping the camera around. So today I'm putting two absolutely amazing watches side by side, absolute standouts in this sort of genre of dive watches, but also in my collection. We have my Seiko Samurai, one of the Save the Ocean editions, and we have my Helm Kiriburi. And I hope I'm saying that right. I think I keep saying it wrong, but either way, a Seiko and a Helm. Both are absolutely amazing dive watches, fit to function, but they are very different in many, many aspects. So I want to have a chat about these two watches and about which one I think might be better, which one might be better value, and what you get out of each when you compare the two together. Now, you will see that I do not have my Seiko on the original strap, and that is because it's on my strap code bracelet, which does add a fair bit more extra value to the watch or extra cost to the watch. But it helps sort of line it up a little bit with the Helm because the Helm comes with this amazing bracelet. If I had this on the original bracelet, well, the Helm would just kill it completely, and that's not the way I wear it. So I'm going to be talking about this watch on this bracelet, also with the price range, including this bracelet. So how much do these watches cost? Well, in Australia, we pick up the Helm for around about 500 Australian dollars, whereas the Samurai is about 700 Australian dollars. Including that bracelet. So there's a couple of $100 difference there, which is quite a lot of money when you're comparing a watch that does the same thing when both of them are particularly good. So what's powering these movements? Well, they're both Seikos, so I think they're going to sort of both be very similar there. We've got the 4R35 movement within the Samurai, and the Helm has the NH38 no date sort of movement. So from that particular sort of aspect, they are very similar. They are both ISO certified divers. They are both divers watches. The Helm has 300 meters of water resistance, whereas the Seiko only actually has 200 meters of water resistance. So we've got a big tick there for the Helm. Not that that really makes a big difference when it comes to diving. Those depths aren't specifically meaning that you can take it down to 300 meters or 200 meters. Both of them will do exactly the same sort of job when you go diving as a recreational perspective. But let's look at the sort of the differences between them. The Seiko on the right there has the Save the Ocean dial there. It is one of my favorite dials on any watches. Has a beautiful blue sort of sunburst sort of effect, changes from dark blue to light blue, has that 3D wave effect. Whereas the Helm is a much more sort of plain dark blue. It is very nice, but it doesn't have that same wow factor that the Seiko does. Same probably with the indices. The indices on the Seiko, they are applied. There's lots and lots of lume on there, and they sort of do look a little bit more finished than the Helm. Whereas the Helm feels a little bit more tooly. It's sort of part of the plastic dial there. It's molded, but again, lots of lume on this one as well. So lume is a fantastic sort of thing for both of these watches. The hands, I think both sets of hands are really interesting. I do particularly like the Seiko hands. It's all brushed. Love the look of that second hand. Very interesting. But I really like how they've set up the hands on the Helm as well. Semi-skeletonized. lots of different color lume, both on the hour and the minute hand. But he color matched the hands there to the dial as well. So they're dark blue, little tip of orange on the second hand, which I think is fantastic. It really ties this watch together with the different three colors that are on the dial. So I think from that perspective, they both have a real big positive to them. Seiko has an applied Seiko logo and some text below. Helm's all printed, but they both look very, very neat and tidy. The bezels are very different, I have to say. Firstly, the bezel on the Seiko is aluminium and has a downturn to it and has quite a bit of a 3D effect to it. Whereas the bezel on the Helm is flat. It looks a little bit more simple, and it looks a little bit more simple until you turn the lights out. So let's now do a lume sort of comparison between these two watches, because they both have fantastic lume. But there's something a little bit special about that Helm lume, isn't there? That fully lumed bezel plus the two types of lume, wow, it stands out. But then look back at that Seiko and we get exactly what we expect from Seiko with lume. We just have amazing looking lume, very strong. So both of them are fantastic from that perspective. Crowns, we have a semi-guarded crown versus an unguarded crown. Well, I don't think there's any sort of comparison there. They're different watches from that perspective. Case perspective, well, I like both of them, but I do have a bit of a thing for the Samurai. I think that looks particularly good. It's a little bit more interesting, a little bit more thought probably put into it from a sort of a design perspective, whereas the Helm I think is a bit more of a tool. It is designed for a purpose, and it is also done very well, all brushed, very nice. Both have drilled end lugs, so you can flick those straps in and out, which is great. It really helps with a sort of tool style watch. Bracelets, obviously I had to buy an aftermarket one to make this one any good, but both of them are fantastic. And to spend well and truly over $100 on a bracelet for this watch to come with a bracelet that's as good as that, well, that says a lot for this helmet. I think that's actually fantastic. When it comes to clasps, well, again, the Seiko one would have lost out hugely compared to the Helm. The strap code one is actually pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with that one. The one on the Helm is fantastic. Can be a little bit hard to undo because of that style, but it is well finished. Case backs, well, both of them are actually quite interesting. I do like the medallion on the Seiko, it is quite interesting, but that Helm case back, that is particularly nice. I do like the style of the logo on the back, and I think it looks particularly good. But there's two more things I want to talk about these watches. Firstly, let's talk more about the price, because realistically, the Helm wins completely when it comes to price. It is so much cheaper, but it is such good quality that it's really hard to justify buying a Seiko when you can get a Helm significantly cheaper that does all the same things, if not doing all the same things better. But then we have the little sort of let's say the elephant in the room about availability. You can buy a Seiko Samurai every day of the week. You can walk into a shopping center and buy one. You can walk into a jeweler's and buy one. You can buy it online. The Helm, unfortunately, is not available, or at least there's a long waiting list available, which I guess says a lot for the watch. It says there's a lot of demand for it, that it's a good watch, that it's good value, that there is such demand that you need to be put on a waiting list, but it means you're going to have to wait maybe a year, maybe 2 years, whereas you can get this Seiko straight away. And within a couple of weeks, you can also get one of those strap code bracelets. So which one do I actually like better? Well, it's very hard to say which I like better because I like both of them a lot. But there is something special about the Seiko for me. I particularly love that dial. I love the hands configuration. I love the case profile. And this bezel is stunning. I really, really like this bezel. If we're talking about value for money, it's absolutely the Helm. It is fantastic. It is absolutely brilliant for the money that this thing costs. I think either watch is a perfect watch for somebody's collection, and really it is personal choice about which one you would prefer. So that really is my side-by-side comparison of these two amazing watches. I am very lucky to have both of them in my collection, and I'm very impressed that I was able to get a hold of the Helm, but I'm also very happy that I spent the money and the extra money on that strap code bracelet. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I do hope to see you in the next video.